24 years ago today, the very foundation of our nation was attacked. Those with hatred of our nation unleashed a planned and calculated attack onto our people. Information is now coming out that key elements in our own government had foreknowledge of the terrorist attacks. That same uncaring mentality seems to be at play now, as those who are supposed to be protecting us from violent, hate-filled leftists are busy surrendering us to them. And again, Americans are dying. America versus the left. That's my focus in today's preamble. As was the case with 9/11, our enemies have been and still are at war with Americans. President Trump addressed the nation from the Oval Office to identify the enemy responsible for the latest casualty in this war, Charlie Kirk.
It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible. For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now. From the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others, radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives.
Leftists here at home showed their true colors yesterday as House Democrats objected to a prayer request after the brutal assassination of Charlie Kirk.
The chair lays before the House a communication. The House will be in order. Thank you all.
And leftists abroad and the European Parliament showed their disdain for America as they too refused a moment of silence after the political assassination of Charlie Kirk. Today, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said any foreign students celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk will be banned. I would suggest the State Department and the Secretary look at all those leftist countries there represented in the European Parliament. They might deserve some scrutiny. Back here at home, despite what you're hearing, both sides are not killing each other to silence political views. The volume of attacks against conservatives and the severity of those attacks far outweighs any attacks on leftists that can be credibly attributed to anybody on the right. But despite this, we are told by so-called Republicans like Liz Cheney, Don Bacon, Paul Ryan, Lisa Murkowski, Mitch McConnell, and others of their kind that we must move on, and that we must lock arms with the very leftists who are fueling and encouraging the violence against Americans, like this Democrat who uttered these words on the day an assassin killed conservative Charlie Kirk in cold blood in broad daylight.
Donald Trump obviously believes that this city is his personal playground. He has deployed the U.S. military to its streets because he wants to feel powerful, because he is a dictator, and he wants to deflect from the fact that the biggest criminal in this city is himself, sitting and occupying the White House at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. But Donald Trump obviously...
Yeah, Yasmin Ansari is just one example of what is now mainstream of left-wing thought. You know, folks, I thank God for my wonderful wife, my kids, my country, the greatest nation ever. And Americans like you who believe in the truth, the Chris Salcedo Show will never stop fighting for you.
The Chris Salcedo Show, for the news you need to know.